Hey guys, what's going on? Jeb here. And in today's video, we are going to be talking about why has Bitcoin not been living up to expectations. Quite frankly, with all of the bullish news, except for that turkey news that we talked about during Coffee and Crypto this morning, Bitcoin looks extremely bullish based on so many different factors. Why then is Bitcoin not already trading at like $100,000 or $150,000 based on all of the fundamental developments that we've seen go on in the last 3 months? We've seen PayPal adoption, Tesla adoption. We had a massive insurer in Europe, the third largest, adopting Bitcoin just a couple of days ago. Well, I'm going to be answering that question in today's video, and I'm also going to give you my price prediction on where I think Bitcoin is going next. So if you do enjoy today's video, make sure to hit that like and subscribe button. But without much further ado, guys, let's go ahead and dive right on into it. Our journey starts on the Bitcoin chart. And the very first thing I'd like to show you is this rising wedge here on Bitcoin with a level of resistance right here and an uptrending level of support right here. Notice how Bitcoin rallied to the resistance level multiple times back before the end of March. But over the last 28 days or so, Bitcoin has been trading predominantly around the bottom portion of this trading channel. Any of you that have gone through the Cryptocurrency Technical Analysis Academy, link in the description box down below, will probably know that depending on what side of a trading channel or a symmetrical triangle pattern or a wedge you were trading on, that's the side you're more likely to break. So in this case, since we're trading against the uptrending level of support, does that mean that we're going to break bearish despite all of these fundamental developments going on? What gives? Well, the first thing that we have to do whenever we have a question about Bitcoin and where we think it's going is that we need to get perspective. Here's some perspective for you guys. Bitcoin over the last 400 days has rallied 1,600%. Comparatively, the S&P 500 has rallied 864% over the last 27 years. So even before we go any farther, I just want you guys to understand, yes, Bitcoin is trading against the bottom of a wedge, but when you look at it with a healthy perspective, you'll realize, it actually has already massively exploded. So let's keep that in mind as we continue. Getting back to the technical analysis, using that perspective, I want to point something out, and that is that Bitcoin was obviously much more bullish during this time period in particular that we can draw right here. This time in between early September and early January, Bitcoin would rally 339% in 127 days. Much of that had to do with global currency crises, supply chain crises, and other economic disasters falling out from the COVID pandemic. As national currencies became less and less valuable and less saleable over time, that means they were less able to hold their holders' value into the future. Bitcoin stepped in to fill the void of sound money. And because Bitcoin is sound money, it has rallied extremely far. Not only that, we've also seen a ton of hype around it driving it. But here's the thing. Hype driving an uptrend is a double-edged sword. As we talked about in today's live stream, Coffee and Crypto earlier, you can see Dogecoin has had a massive rally, and much of that has to do with hype, not fundamentals. On Bitcoin, much of the rally that took place over the last 6 to 12 months has been because of, yes, fundamentals, but also predominantly hype. The media has been talking about it a lot. And you might think, but Jeb, the media is still talking about Bitcoin a lot. Yes, but not as much as they were talking about it 3 months ago. So here's my conclusion. Since search traffic on Bitcoin has been going down over the last 3 months, and since the price has been going up over the last 3 months, the difference between the search volume and the hype and the traffic and the price has shrunk and shrunk and shrunk. The search volume is going down, the price is going up, and that means this gap right here, which determines how bullish a currency is in the first place, is getting smaller. It means that there's less bullish pressure, one, because the hype has died down a little bit, there's less interest in the space right now than there was 3 or 4 months ago, and because the price has already rallied quite a bit. That means that the bulls are not quite as strong right now as they were 3 months ago. That, however, does not mean that they're not in power. The bulls are in power, and the bulls are very strong. And this all loops back to the chart, because if you remember to the beginning of this video, I talked about how over the last 28 days, Bitcoin has been trading around the bottom of this uptrending trading channel. And I asked you the question, is this dangerous for Bitcoin? Is Bitcoin going to break bearish here? And here's what I think, guys. No, I don't think this is a bad sign for Bitcoin. Now, this turkey news that we talked about earlier on today may end up causing something. It's really hard to tell what the fallout of that news will be. I don't think it's going to result in Bitcoin breaking below $58,000, but generally speaking, the bulls are still in power. The bulls are still in charge. The bulls still have control over this market until some things take place. For example, if Bitcoin were to break this uptrending level of support, which is currently sitting at $59,000, then that might be indicative that we're going to move farther to the downside, as that would be a bearish break of this rising wedge. And by the way, Cryptocurrency technical analysis hosts note, rising wedges do break bearish 70% of the time, so don't be surprised if that happens. I don't think it's going to, but don't be surprised if it does. But even if it does, we have strong support sitting here at $57,500 based on this high right over here, and we also can see that VPVR has a VPVR climax right around that level, roughly $57,000. Really, it's more about $55,000 to $60,000 of support. So here's my conclusion, and here's my price target, guys. Where do I think Bitcoin is going? I'll give you a month, I'll give you 6 months, I'll give you a year. In the next year, I think Bitcoin will be well north of $150,000. Maybe 100,000, but probably up close to $150,000 within 12 months of today. Within 6 months, I think that Bitcoin will be rallying very close to 100K, if not having already broken it. By the way, for all of our super bulls in chat and in the comments, yes, I am aware that Bitcoin could very easily go to 100K much faster than 6 months. I'm trying to be a little bit conservative so I don't get you too overly hyped and induced with FOMO. As far as the next month is concerned, guys, the next month is the one that's a little bit more uncertain. We have a potential bearish MACD cross coming in the next couple of days. That could indicate lower prices, and we also see that, like we said, Bitcoin is trading against the bottom of that rising wedge. It is possible that that rising wedge breaks bearish. We cannot be overly hyped and overly bullish and think that that's impossible, because it's not impossible. It is something that could take place. At the end of the day, I think within the next 30 days that Bitcoin is going to be trading at or above $70,000. That is my prediction. I could be totally wrong. Maybe I'm wrong on the timing, but I do believe I'm right on the price, even if it takes a little bit longer than a month. I would love to hear your opinions on this in the comment section down below. Here's a question of the day. What do you think Turkey banning Bitcoin is going to do for Bitcoin in the cryptocurrency markets? And are you worried about your country being next? Let us know in the comment section down below, and I'll respond to as many comments as I possibly can. Before I go, though, guys, if you did enjoy today's video, make sure to hit that like and subscribe button. We're trying to get to 100K subs, and I would love your help with that. You can join the below 100K group, or whatever we'll end up calling you guys. Anyway, I humbly and genuinely and seriously do, before I go, want to thank each and every single last one of you for watching, as always, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.